This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater system before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or priority traffic. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 100 Zulu, to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. Counts as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. I take them over the air. I'll do that in a little bit. Let's see. I take them, let's see, I'm trying to find something here. Oh, sorry about that. Where is everything? I've lost my links. Let's see. I take them via YouTube. If you happen to be on YouTube, I'll see your name pop up there. I'll take them on a NetLogger. That's my preferred and easiest way, because I'll see your call sign pop up in the AIM window and get you logged in. You don't need a call sign to log in or to sign to join us over on YouTube, of course, but it's always neat to have new hams check in for sure. All right. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge several check-ins that I already have. And I don't see anybody over on YouTube right now. I'm going to change that a little bit. There we go. Oh, we do have some people over there on YouTube. It wasn't popping up on one of those screens. So let me acknowledge those that checked in via NetLogger. We got Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. John, W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. Rip, K3XO, thanks for checking in tonight. And we got, let me get some of these. There we go. My fast fingers are getting too fast for this clicking here. And oh, I apologize. I apologize that I'm a little slow tonight. Had a very, very long weekend. And I'll tell you guys about that. Actually, that's going to be part of the program. It may maybe make it into a Q&A. All right. Where was I? Here we go. I'm setting up my timer so I don't time out on the system here. But oh, where was I? We got James KD9UJK. Thanks for checking in tonight over on the YouTube. Appreciate that. We got Mary VE3AOA. Thanks for checking in tonight. And Roy, Mary's over on YouTube as well, so do appreciate the YouTube support. And we got Roy KI7PKL checking in tonight. Let me do one thing before I get back to you guys. I need to set up one more app here. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I do appreciate you guys checking in tonight. I'll go ahead, and also you can check in if you're just out there listening and don't have any other connections. You can, but you have email. You can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com, and let me know that you're out there listening. I actually had an email check-in last week. He was trying to check in, a new call. So from last week we had Phil in Texas, KJ5RAC, checked in via email, and I didn't acknowledge him during the net, so I'll have to keep an eye on my emails. But hopefully he's listening in tonight. There are all sorts of ways you can get in also into the net if you happen to be an amateur radio operator with an internet connection and have access to Echolink or All-Star. You can check in via those processes. If you're in the local areas, there are various repeaters that you can check into as well. Skyhublink.com has all the ways that you can check in to the net for sure. Well, except for the YouTube one. I don't think they have my YouTube connection up there, but you guys can figure that one out. This is KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and take check-ins over the air. Anyone wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Lima Oscar. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Lima Oscar. Ron in person. Kilo Niner, November Oscar Charlie. Kilo Niner, November Oscar Charlie. MVK3HJQ, MVK3HJQ mobile. I'll be in and out. Thanks for the net. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Zulu Alpha Papa. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Zulu Alpha Papa. Joe in Colorado Springs.
All right, let's stop there. I got a bunch of calls there. Let's see, and my copy and paste isn't working, so I'll have to add that one in. Okay, let's see. We got Oh, where did I stop? We got Ron, KF0VLO. Thanks for checking in tonight. Patrick, K9NOC. Thanks for checking in tonight. John, Mobile, VK3HJQ. Thanks for checking in tonight, John. Drive safe. We got you checked in and checked in and out as well. So thanks for that. We got Joe. KF0ZAP. Good evening to you, Joe. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. That's a new call on the list. I'm going to get back to you in just a sec. We got Mike over on YouTube, KO5AOK. Thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. For those of you who are on YouTube, if you do have any questions or comments, post them over in the chat window and I will relay them as I see them, or if it's appropriate in the middle of the program or during the program, I'll slide them in for sure. If you are new on YouTube and listening in, I'd love to sign you up and get you a member of the Colorado Astronomy Net. You could post your name. If you have a call sign, that's great. Name and location. First name is fine. Location, and I can add you to my list. I do tally up these numbers and send them off to JPL as part of the Solar System Ambassador Program, of which I am a part. And what they do is they get these numbers, send them off to NASA, and they get funding. So to do more outreach programs. Of course, we're volunteers, so we don't get paid anything, but sometimes we get little treaties from them that we can pass out at some of the events. And Paul, we got you on the list, WA7GVL. Thanks for checking in tonight. We're going back up to Joe down in Colorado Springs, KF0ZAP. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo. Oops, we got timed out. Just a sec.
Paul, we got you on the list, WA7GVL. Thanks for checking in tonight. We're going back up to Joe down in Colorado Springs, KF0ZAP. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo.
Okay, interesting. There's a 40-second lag between wires X and analog, so it's interesting to see. Joe, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. I've been doing the net for over 30 years, and I like to touch base with my first-time check-ins. Find out a little bit about your interest, background in astronomy. Whether you're just starting out or you got more experience than I do. Either way, or somewhere in between, I definitely like to hear about it. Joe, KF0ZAP, please share with us what your experience, background in astronomy. Go ahead.
Well, I've always been interested in astronomy, and about 10 years ago, I got an Orion 8-inch Smithsonian telescope and a bunch of lenses to go with it, so that's always fun to take out. He's also got the sun filter, and really tried to outfit it so that it was something that drew a lot of interest in. I go camping when I do, I take it with me, and it's nice to be able to go up in the mountains into the dark skies and be able to do a little bit of star searching.
All right, Joe. Thanks for checking in tonight. I appreciate that. And one part of the show a little bit later on is I do go down my list and talk with everybody, and question, answer, and observational reports. If you got anything that you're looking at in the skies, uh, and that's actually going to be my topic for this evening. My observational reports for this past weekend, and I'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later on, because it's going to take a lot more than just a few minutes to discuss that, and hopefully it will generate some questions as well. So no formal article tonight, just a very interesting experience that I had this past weekend, Fridays, yeah, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. So very late evenings, to say the least, and long days. We got Mike in Utah, K7 VWP over on YouTube. Thanks for checking in tonight. I'll look for check-ins a little bit later on, running a little bit late. I do apologize for that. Announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address to get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the newsletter and the web page. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out in Strasburg, Colorado, at the Star Haven Observatory on Friday evenings from sometime in the late afternoon until about 8 p.m. at night. So right now we're actually meeting around 4-ish because we've got some projects going on and I need the extra help. Usually it's from 6 until 8 p.m. on Fridays. Always interested in finding new members, interested in freshmen through senior age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. More than welcome to visit our website at iaas.org for more information, or check us out on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. Also a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, be sure to hop on there and like us both. On Mondays and Wednesdays, Jack, KE0VH, runs a flight sim flight on YouTube. You check out his channel on Captain Jack Flight Sim, CAPNJACKFLTSIM, Captain Jack Flight Sim, from 6:30 until whenever, Mountain Time, basically until he lands, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And he's got a whole bunch of other flight simmers, amateur radio operators, people that are just interested in flying along with him. Interesting simulation, is quite realistic. So you do get up into the cockpit, you see what he might have done, creating a cockpit in his basement, things like that, and chatting with everybody else. So check that out if you can. Captain Jack Flight Sim on Wednesday nights on YouTube. That's it for the announcements. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll get into the local astronomical news for this 21st day of July 2026. Start off as usual by resetting the repeater. All right, there we go. I'll start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We had a last quarter moon on the 7th, a new moon on the 14th, and a first quarter moon occurs tonight. So get out there and check out the first quarter moon if you've got a scope. Definitely take a look along the terminator. That is the line delineating light from shadow. It's always fun to look with a telescope or binoculars along that terminator to see what mountains are popping up in the sunshine and what craters, lit up craters, are actually hidden in shadow. And this is actually one of the better angles to look at the moon because you get more of a 3D sense of depth and height, altitude with the objects, with the surface of the moon. You get a nice profile shot. So you see the texture of the moon, especially along the terminator there, much more prominently than if you're just looking at it when it is in full phase, which we have a full moon occurring on the 29th. The moon will be at perigee. Its closest approach was at perigee. Its closest approach to the Earth this month. Back on the 13th, it was 223,142 miles from Earth. The moon will be at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month. On the 25th, it will be 251,996 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for July. Venus and Jupiter remain visible in the evening sky soon after sunset early in July, although Jupiter fairly quickly drops out of sight, which it has already done. In the morning sky, there's lots of planetary action. Saturn rises earlier now, placing in a dark sky for a couple of hours. There's a wonderful conjunction between Mars and Uranus on July 4th. We've missed that one. If you've never seen Uranus before, this conjunction makes it easy. Finally, Mercury rounds the sun and reappears in the morning sky in the last few days of the month. Excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, July 2026, page 34, and that's without the ad libs there. On with the planets. We got Mercury was at inferior conjunction on the 12th, meaning that it was between us and the sun on that particular date, and we were not able to see that. And we're still pretty close to the sun right now. It is rising well within the early morning twilight glow, making it very difficult to spot. After conjunction, Mercury has returned to the morning sky, rising about 4:31 a.m. by month's end. Right now it's rising about 5 a.m. So that's about 50 minutes before the sun. So it'll be a challenge because you need to wait at least 30 minutes before sunrise to be able to spot Mercury in the morning sky. So it only leaves you just a few minutes to spot that if you can. Mercury is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude 0.5. Quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the numbers go up, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see under optimal conditions is about 6th magnitude. So a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer, and you will need telescopes or binoculars to spot that. However, get out there with those telescopes and binoculars and take a look at those stars that you can see. We got Venus. Venus is setting about 10:30 p.m. this week. Look for Venus to the west about 30 minutes after sunset. Venus moves from the constellation of Leo into Virgo, shining at magnitude -4.2. In fact, Venus is going to be the first object you're going to see in the evening sky besides the moon. And look towards the west. And as you watch the moon, if you haven't been doing that the last couple of nights, you'll notice that it's a little further, further towards the east each night by about 35 to 45 minutes later each evening. The Earth was at aphelion, its farthest point away from the sun. Back on the 6th, it was 94.5 million miles from the sun. The Earth is usually at perihelion, its closest approach to the Earth in January, where it is about 91 million miles from Earth. Mars. We got Mars rising about 2:30 a.m. this week. Look for Mars to the southeast in the morning sky about 30 minutes before sunrise. Mars was in conjunction with Uranus back on the 4th, meaning that those two planets were about as close as they're going to get. Right now, you should be able to see Uranus above Mars. It's rising about a half an hour earlier. I'll tell you that time in a minute. Still making it fairly easy to find for Uranus there. Mars is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 1.3. And we got Jupiter will be in conjunction with the sun on the 29th. So we'll actually be behind the sun. Jupiter is setting this week about 8:40 p.m., which is about 20 minutes after the sun sets. So right now, Jupiter is lost, definitely lost in the evening twilight glow. So it'll be very difficult, if not it will be impossible to see, basically. It's just too close to the sun right now. After conjunction, Jupiter returns to the morning sky, rising about 5:49 a.m. by month's end. However, with it being a conjunction on the 29th, you're still not going to see Jupiter for another several weeks after that. So we'll have to wait until later in August to spot Jupiter again in the morning sky. Jupiter is in the constellation of Cancer, shining at magnitude -1.8. And we got Saturn. Saturn will be stationary on the 27th, meaning that it does not appear to move forward nor backward relative to the background skies on that evening. Saturn rises at 11:45 p.m. This week, so it has returned to the evening sky, but not by much. Look for Saturn towards the south in the morning before sunrise. So give Saturn a while to spot. So you'll have to definitely wait till well after midnight to see if you can spot Saturn. It'll be fairly low, but let it get up higher so you can see more details and you don't have to look through all the smoke and haze that may be covering your particular area, especially over the Denver area. Saturn is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 0.7. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net, continuing. Uranus. Uranus is rising about 1:50 a.m. This week, so it's actually rising about 40 minutes before Mars, thereabouts. So it is still fairly close, within several degrees. So you might be able to see it just above if you take a pair of binoculars and look for a little greenish dot above the red planet. It would be Uranus. Definitely point a telescope there to see if you can see more color. Look for Uranus to the southeast in the morning before sunrise. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.8. In fact, it is a solid 4.5 magnitudes brighter, 4.5 magnitudes dimmer than Mars. That equates to almost 100 times dimmer. So it will be a challenge, to say the least. We got Neptune was stationary back on the 7th. Neptune is rising about 11:15 p.m. of this week. Look for Neptune towards the south in the morning sky before sunrise. And Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. So this is one that you do have to wait until it gets towards the south. So give it 4 or 5 hours so it gets a lot higher in the evening sky to spot that one. So you definitely have to stay up late for that one. We got, for our dwarf planets, we have Ceres rising about 3 a.m. this week. Ceres can be spotted low to the southeast in the morning sky before sunrise. Ceres is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 9.0. And we got Pluto will be at opposition on the 27th, rising as the sun sets. Pluto is now rising about 8:50 p.m. and 8:50 p.m. Pluto can be spotted to the south before sunrise, so that's another one you have to wait a while before it gets higher up in the sky. Pluto appears at its best for the year in late July. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.0. And now is the time to, just a sec. Now is the time to get out under the dark skies in the very early morning hours after the moon sets. Once it passes first quarter, we're getting into the waxing gibbous phases, and the moon is up later and later until it's full at the end of the month. And you won't be able to see any of these dimmer objects because of the full moon or the moon that's in the morning skies after that. So this right now, while it is quarter phase and maybe the next couple of days. All right, meteor showers. We got a couple of meteor showers that are underway. We got the southern Delta Aquarids. This meteor shower has a duration of July 14th through August 18th. Maximum hourly rates of 15 to 20 occur on July 28th, 29th. We got the northern Delta Aquarids, extends from July 16th through September 10th. Maximum occurs on August 13th. The hourly rates reach a high of 10. Just a note here, the northern Delta Aquarids peaks a day later than the annual Perseid meteor shower, which extends from approximately August 5th through August 19th or so. The Perseids is one of the best of the year, producing 60 to 80 meteors per hour. And this year, under dark sky conditions, so it should be a fairly good year for the Perseids. And the nice thing about the Perseids is they're spread out over those 2 weeks on either side of the peak on August 12th. So you should see a whole bunch of them, even in the evening skies. Not as many as at peak, but a consistent number of Perseids throughout that time. And if you happen to see some meteors going in other strange directions, those might be part of the southern Delta Aquarids or the northern Delta Aquarids. And we do have a comet. Comet 10P Temple, or Temple 2, is shining around 7th magnitude, passing through the constellations of Aquarius and Capricorn. All right. And that is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, look for more check-ins. We got Ed, W6RDZ, checked in and ready to give the rocket report for this evening. And I have not got it ready to publish yet, so I have to look at my emails and see if it's there, and then I can get it published while he's giving it to you. I usually post that on the website as well, and I'll give you guys the link. I'll post that on YouTube and the NetLogger for that link when I get it updated. So stay tuned for that. Right now, let me see what I'm going to do a little bit different tonight, since I was talking about what I wanted to share with you for this past weekend, my astronomical experiences this weekend. And that will kind of leave it open for questions and answers while I go down the list. So what I'm going to do tonight is give you the ISS report, followed by the rocket report. So Ed, please stand by for that, because I want to share with you, like I said, share with my experiences, my observational reports for this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or actually, I should say Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A little bit different. And some of it's kind of heady stuff. It's stuff I learned, brand new stuff that I learned. Some of it I already knew, but some of it I didn't. So definitely fun stuff. Let's see. All right. I will go ahead and start off with ISS passes. So let me pull that up. Oh, why is that doing that? Okay. Oops, that's the wrong that's the wrong screen. Sorry about that. All right, where is that? Let me see. Just a sec. Give me a sec. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Just a minute. Now I gotta find that page. All right, let's see. That's not it. Apologies. There we go. There we go. Do it that way. All right, fine. There we go. Close enough. All right. You may want to, if you're interested in ISS passes over your local area. What is this doing? This is doing weird things. There we go. There we go. ISS passes over your local area, you may want to check out this website, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. And I do request that you sign up for it and log in to that site. And it's got a whole bunch of interesting information, but what I like about this particular website is I can look at all of the visible passes, or all of the passes for that matter, by clicking on a radio button and seeing what passes the ISS is over our particular area. This is for Denver for the next 10 days. Trying to get rid of some of this garbage here. And I noticed that there is some lag time in there. We don't need to see that. There we go. What I like about this particular website is I can click on a particular path of interest, and I get a nice star chart to take a look at. And I can see the path of the ISS through the sky and through the various constellations of interest. And you can see where it goes. And you can print this star chart out, take it outside, and take a look at it. You don't have any worries about batteries dying. You don't have to look at a little 2-inch by 3-inch screen to figure out where the ISS is. You've got a good idea and the direction of where it's coming from and where it's going to, and in this case, where it'll disappear in the night sky. For those of you who are seeing this over on YouTube, you can check that out. But again, check it out, www.heavens-above.com for more information on that. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'm going to call on Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. Oh, let me see. I'm just checking all of this stuff. There we go. There's the rocket report I can work on while you give the rocket report tonight. W6RDZ, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Are you ready to give the rocket report for this evening? Go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. I'm not sure it took it. Okay, this is Ed, W6RDC, ready to go with the rocket report here on Echo Lake. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know.
All right, Ed, you're a solid copy. So yeah, there was a little bit of a delay there, but you're a solid copy on Echolink. So there you go. Go ahead with your rocket report. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
All right, this is W6RDZ Rocket Man Ed with tonight's ready to rock and roll with tonight's rocket report. Let's see, we'll be looking back a week to the 14th and forward to the 28th. Last week treated us to 6 attempted orbital launches, 4 of which were successful, or maybe maybe that's 5 now, depending on how you count. Of course, the big launch of Starship Flight 13 was scrubbed, and it's now scheduled for launch day after tomorrow on Thursday. More about that later in the report. Our first launch here of the week is on Tuesday, July 16th, and that was at 14:32 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX successfully launched Tranche-1 Transporter Layer E mission on Falcon 9, departed Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. The mission is one of 6 missions by the U.S. Space Force for the Tranche-1 constellation, which will provide, well, there we go. I'm having a little difficulty here with my computer tonight. It makes the page down. Well, we'll try this again over here. All right, these military satellites, they are offering assured, resilient, low latency military data and connectivity worldwide. This flight placed 21 top secret satellites built by York Space Systems into a forward orbit. All right, that brings us to the second launch of the night. That will be on Friday, July 18th at 0035 Mountain Daylight Time. India's Skyroot Aerospace successfully launched the Ganham mission, or demo flight, of the first launch of India's new Vikram-1 rocket from Satish Dhawan Space Center in India. This success was the maiden flight of India's first commercial private launch vehicle. Number 3, SpaceX experienced kind of deja vu all over again. This time with a Falcon 9 on Monday, July 20th at 0800 Mountain Daylight Time. SpaceX attempted to launch Starlink Group. On a repeater timeout. All right. One mission that departed Cape Canaveral this afternoon. The MRV, or Mission Robotic Vehicle, is a satellite servicing payload built by Northrop Grumman, designed to attach to mission extension pods on satellites in geostationary orbit to keep them on station over the course of their lives. This will be the last flight of Booster 1069. It's retiring on its 32nd mission, as this is a disposable launch requiring all the boosters' fuel for the payload to reach orbit. And the fifth launch, I haven't had any recent updates. Anytime now, maybe next 50 minutes at 2050 Mountain Daylight Time. China's Orion Space is scheduled to launch a Gravity 1 rocket from the Yellow Sea, Haiyang Orbital Spaceport in China. The Gravity 1 is the world's largest solid fuel rocket. We'll reset our repeaters. RGZ, back with the Colorado Astronomy Net rocket report. First launch, Thursday, July 23rd. After tomorrow, China Aerospace and Science Corporation, or CASIC, plans to launch a Long March 3/E from LC2 at the Jichang Satellite Launch Center at 0606 Mountain Daylight Time. The payload is undisclosed. Second launch will be Starship Flight 13. Has been rescheduled to launch Thursday at 16:45. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Third launch, Thursday, July 23rd, 17:30 Mountain Daylight Time. China's CASIC Aerospace plans to launch a Kinetica 1 rocket from the Jiquan, China. The payload is undisclosed. I'm going to reset the repeater there. W6 RGZ, back with the rocket report. Saturday, July 25th, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 1751 on a Falcon 9 from Vandenberg. And finally, Tuesday, a week from today, July 28th at 2000, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 17-52 from Vandenberg. All right, that brings us up to the big space news, Starship Flight 13. Starship, the world's largest rocket and the only super heavy booster, was scheduled to launch last Tuesday. Monday, Booster 20 rolled out to Pad 2. Monday night, Ship 40 rolled out and was stacked. The countdown went smoothly until engine ignition. 4 of the 33 Raptors did not ignite. This triggered a launch abort. The ship did not lift off the pad. Starship can launch with 3 of 33 engines out, but not 4. The hard shutdown probably damaged some engines. The ship was destacked and rolled back to the assembly building. 3 Raptor engines were replaced. The launch was rescheduled for Monday. On Sunday evening, with no rocket on the pad, the launch was postponed until Thursday. So, Starship Test Flight 13 is now scheduled for the day after tomorrow, Thursday, July 23rd at 16:45 Mountain Daylight Time. Reset the repeaters there. W6 RGZ, back with the rocket report. This is the second flight test of Starship Super Heavy version 3, the largest rocket ever built, and Super Heavy launch vehicle that will make the U.S. moon base and the colonization of Mars possible. This is the 13th Starship test flight, the second of 2026. The flight profile will be very similar to Flight 12, suborbital, with upper stage Ship 40 splashing down in the Indian Ocean, and in the first stage, Booster 20 making a controlled splashdown into the Gulf of Mexico. Changes for Flight 13 include the first deployment of 20 upgraded V3 Starlink satellites, marking the first Starlink version 3 to deploy in space. 6 will be fitted with video cameras. All right. Excitement is guaranteed. Go Starship. Go SpaceX. That's it for tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net's rocket report. This is W6 RGZ, Rocket Man Ed, wishing you a good night and normal flight. Now, back to Starman Burnett, KI0AR, Capcom Mission Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
Okay, got a few things. Let's see. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Moy73 to you. I saw your text there. Got to check out early. Early day tomorrow. Yeah, I can relate to that. And he says clear skies to all. So we'll get him there. We got Danny checked in over on YouTube there. So KF0WXE. Thanks for checking. Thanks for that. I may as well take a few more check-ins. I do want to call on John for the history lesson for this evening, and then I'll get into what I did this weekend and then talk to you guys as well. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Okay, I heard someone in there. Okay, I heard someone in there, but the volume was so low that it wasn't readable. So anybody else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
KC8 FQV, that's King Charles 8, Fox Queen Victor.
Okay, we got Robert KC8 F. Oh, excuse me, FQV. Sorry about that. I typed in the wrong letter. I didn't know you, Mark. Sorry about that. KC8 FQV. Thanks for checking in tonight, Michael. KB7ZZS. I don't know if I'll let you get away that easy by checking in and out. Your first time check in on the net, so I want to do a proper welcome. Welcome to the net, Michael. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Name here is Bernus. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. I do like to touch base with my first time check-ins and find out a little bit about your background interest in astronomy. Whether you're just starting out, you've been doing it for decades like me, or somewhere in between. Please go ahead, Michael. KB7ZZS, go ahead.
Michael. Want to congratulate you. I'm not sure that anyone correctly, but yeah, it's just a check out just in case you didn't get my cue service. But yes, I will stand by.
Okay, I switched over to analog because I wasn't getting any response over on the Wires X for some reason. Michael, we did hear you on Echolink. It sounds a lot clearer, but I did have to turn my volume up for that. I think there may be a setting on the gain for Echolink somehow, but I did have to crank the volume up so I could hear you. Welcome to the net. I do appreciate you checking in tonight. Didn't hear a response on what your experience in astronomy, interests are in astronomy, please go ahead, and hopefully I got the volume turned up so we can actually get you over there on the people over on YouTube can hear you as well. I gotta eventually I'll get around to doing the audio properly on this, but right now it's just speaker to speaker.
Thank you for able to hear me. I know my phone flow to internet. I was just taking a look at today, but yes, I've been involved a long time in ham radio. Sorry, my voice is a little that sounds better. I apologize for that. Anyhow, I just want to say yes, I've been involved in astronomy land, and using a link at this time. Unfortunately, my DMR radio is not working, but I just want to, yes, I love astronomy net. My call sign is originally out of Seattle. I've been involved with ham radio over 23 years, especially astronomy net and EOSS and APRS. I'm very active on ham radio, especially for all the digital modes, but with that, I'm just going to give that to Net, and I will check in the next time the Net's here. I don't want to tie up the Net too much, but this is Cuba Bravo 720 here, and over here's Mike, and always enjoy involving in satellite astronomy. Back to that.
All right, Mike, thanks for that. Yeah, stick around. I do have a Q&A after we're going to do a short history lesson, and then I'm going to talk about my observational report for this weekend. It's a long one, so that's part of the program for tonight, and I want to do it last so I can at least hopefully generate some questions from you guys and things like that. So and carry on the conversation and hear some observational reports from y'all as well. So stick around, more to come for sure. And yeah, everybody's welcome to the net for sure. And Jack, we got you on the list, KE0VH. Thanks for that. I'm going to call on John W2JLS, our local astronomical historian for the astronomy tidbit for the evening. W2JLS, this is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go ahead.
This is W2JLS, John, transmitting from Fairlawn, Ohio. A very good evening to our mission control friends, KI0AR and Rocketman Ed, W6RTZ, and everyone listening on the Colorado Astronomy Net. Welcome your check-ins. It's good to hear that, gentlemen. Yeah, tonight in Astronomy and Space History, we're going to return to exactly 65 years ago, today, July 21st, 1961. And two extraordinary moments in the life of one of America's greatest American pioneering astronauts. This story begins with a spacecraft hatch that opened when it should not have. Before we're done, it'll end with another hatch that refused to open when it absolutely had to. So at 7:20 a.m. this morning, 1961, Gus Grissom lifted off of Cape Canaveral aboard the Liberty Bell 7 and became the second American in space. He reached an altitude of 118 miles and experienced about 5 minutes of weightlessness during 11 times the force of gravity during re-entry, which occurred about 15 minutes, 30 seconds after launch, splashing down apparently safely into the Atlantic Ocean. The flight itself had been nearly perfect. This was not an attempt to orbit the Earth. Alan Shepard had already done that, being the first man in space, demonstrating that an American could survive
astronauts could function in weightlessness and manually control a spacecraft and then survive re-entry and be recovered. So in experimental terms, Shepard had supplied the first result. Grissom was the confirmation. Liberty Bell also carried important new feature that the prior capsule did not have. This one was equipped with an explosively actuated side hatch that was secured by 70 titanium bolts, as the research indicated. So here he is splashing down in the Atlantic. Imagine this. It's you're one of two people to do anything like this ever. And the recovery helicopter shows up and is supposed to attach a cable and lift the capsule out, and then once you're safely above the waves, they load the capsule. So after splashdown, Grissom disconnected his oxygen hose, released his restraints, and armed the hatch, waiting inside the capsule that was bobbing up and down in the Atlantic. Above him, the recovery helicopter moved into position from its open door. A crewman reached toward the capsule's long radio antenna with a cutting tool. So there, Grissom is waiting patiently inside the capsule. He hears the thud, as he reported. Touching the control, the hatch exploded away. So capsule hatch is now blown away with the opening of the capsule now at the level of the Atlantic, and seawater immediately starts pouring in over the capsule sill and into the cabin. Grissom, recognizing his situation, immediately throws off his helmet, grabs his instrument panel, and pulls himself through the opening. If anyone's ever seen this thing, it's very tiny. These are not, it's not like Artemis. It's a baby. He began swimming away and became tangled in the lines attached to the capsule's green dye marker, briefly connecting it to the rapidly sinking spacecraft. Fortunately, he managed to break free. The capsule was now headed 3 miles down to the bottom of the Atlantic, right? The Liberty Bell was attempted to be rescued by the helicopter, but with the water rushing in, it quickly had gained weight such that it exceeded the helicopter's ability to pull it out. So, having no choice, the helicopter pilot dropped the capsule, so it sat there at the bottom of the Atlantic. And meanwhile, here's Grissom over there swimming away, and he, during his great escape, he had not sealed the oxygen inlet on his spacesuit. So the air that should have kept his suit buoyant was rapidly escaping and filling with seawater. And so he himself is now beginning to sink. So he's trying to get the attention, but you have the helicopter spinning, and you got rotor wash thrown up and churning all around him. And then they realize, hey, we got to get Gus out of there. So here he is in the water, and later he recalled thinking, God, you go through this whole flight. Now you're going to sink right here in front of all the world. Obviously, a harrowing moment. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, they were able to finally get a horse collar sling around Gus and pull him out and drag him out of the water. And he became the only second American to travel and escape the Atlantic that day. 65 years ago this morning. So, had that sling been a little bit later, Gus would probably be on the bottom of the Atlantic next to the Liberty Bell 7. But instead, we remember him and in this moment. But going to kind of push forward and skip over a little of the history intended to cover, so I'm not sucking up too much time here. NASA, after this event, Gus went on in NASA to command the Gemini 3, first crewed flight of the Gemini program. He named his spacecraft, because of this incident we discussed earlier here, the unsinkable Honorable Molly Brown. With that flight, Grissom became the first person ever to travel in space twice. He then also became one of only 2 astronauts to fly in both Mercury Gemini, and then later be selected to command an Apollo crew. So, pretty rare individual in that context. But I need to kind of continue on to the thing that most of us remember Gus for. So, Apollo 1, this is a horrific story that most of us will unfortunately recall. On January 27th, 1967, Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee were sealed inside their Apollo spacecraft. What was to be just a ground test. They weren't flying. Rocket was not fueled, but the capsule was pressurized with oxygen. The fire erupted, spread instantaneously, completely. The pressure inside the capsule rapidly increasing, and Apollo's 3-part hatch opened inward. So these guys, here they are burning to death in a capsule that, under ideal conditions, would that hatch would require 90 seconds. But under the 90 seconds to open, but under the pressure building inside the capsule, it was impossible, obviously, to open. And with oxygen in a fire, there's 0 time. It's just that fast. So, 1961, that hatch, that opened too soon, left Gus stranded there in the Atlantic, finding his way out for his life. And then here you are, 6 years later, in 1967, a hatch that wouldn't open trapped him to die in a fire. No way out. So, I will say a couple of quick points. Years later, the Liberty Bell 7 was able to be pulled off the bottom of the Atlantic, so that was recovered. They did find inside some of Gus's possessions. He had a survival knife, flashlight, checklist, camera, and 35 dimes that he carried as what would be souvenirs. So they were all fetched many years later, some 32 years after the event. But I think it's important to reflect here. So in either of these events, neither of them did Gus Grissom fail his spacecraft. Twice the spacecraft actually failed him. The second time, obviously, claiming his life and the lives of 2 of his colleagues. And I shared this story tonight both because of the coincidence in time, 65 years ago today, for the first of these stories. But also, as I've heard and remembered Gus throughout my life, it's always about Apollo 1 and the horrific end. But it's really unfair to focus on this without reflecting on all of his other accomplishments. So let's do that quickly, and then I'll move on. So, to the American Space Program, Gus gave nearly 8 years of his life from selection of one of the Mercury 7 in April of '59 to his death in January of '67. But before that, he also served 18 years in uniform, including service in World War II, and his continuous Air Force career in 1950 onward, and then exactly 100 combat missions over Korea and F-86 Sabres. So by the time this gentleman died, I would think of him as kind of an American hero and explorer. At only 40 years old, he left behind his wife and high school sweetheart, Betty, with 2 sons. And he'd given 18 years of his life to military service and 8 years to the space program. So a lot to be acknowledged. With that, thank you for entertaining the time this took. This is W2JLS, wishing you all a very good evening on your ears, and returning to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Mission Control Barnett KI0AR.
Okay, thanks for that, John. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. A quick welcome to Michael, KR4CHO, checked in via NetLogger. So, Michael, welcome to the net. My name is Bernice. It's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. You found the Colorado Astronomy Net. I want to do a quick touch base with you and get into observational reports. I'll start off with mine in just a minute, but I want to find out from you, Michael, what's your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades or somewhere in between. KR4CHO, please go ahead and share with us.
Been involved, long time, very wide. The council program that testimony is heartfelt. That like to do that. Thank you. Anyway, that's good.
Okay, Michael, your audio was very, very low. I had to crank up the volume to catch it, but I caught most of it. Hopefully, I can pick that out. Welcome to the net. Do appreciate you sharing that with us. Hopefully, you can stick around. And again, welcome. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, my show and tell for this evening. I attended the IOTA Recon conference this past weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, their annual meeting. IOTA stands for the International Occultation Timing Association, and RECON stands for Research and Education Collaborative Occultation Network. And RECON is actually based up at CU, up in Boulder, just north of where I live right now. And they've asked, about a month or two ago, we started collaborating with them through the IAAS, the volunteer group, the student group that I volunteer with, the International Association for Astronomical Studies, and asked us if we would like to join them. And this past weekend was the first time I have done this type of occultation work. A quick definition of an occultation is when an object passes in front of a star and occults that particular object. What these two organizations do is try to time how long a particular asteroid or object takes to pass in front of a background star. And then they record that data. What they record is the light curve from the particular star and see that it drops. And from this information, they are able to get a whole bunch of information. IOTA deals with all types of occultations of asteroids. RECON is specifically oriented towards Trojan asteroids, specifically around Jupiter. Trojan asteroids are asteroids that are hanging out at the Lagrange points around Jupiter. A Lagrange point is a point around a particular object where the gravitation from a planet and the sun cancel each other out. In this case, there are actually six. The Earth has Lagrange points. The Moon, Mars, Jupiter. In this case, Jupiter has Lagrange points, six of them, that are spaced kind of equidistant around the planet, where the gravitation of the sun basically cancels out the gravitational pull from Jupiter. So these asteroids are just sitting there floating, kind of balanced in that spot, and just stay there, which is the nice thing about it. And what Recon is doing is measuring these particular asteroids in these Lagrange points, or the Trojans, as they call them. So that's what they're doing with that research, and you can determine size and shape and update the ephemerae, or the the coordinates of where they are, and how fast they're traveling through space, so they can figure out where they are, what they're doing, and in the case of Iota, if they're going to ever hit the Earth. So there was a conference that was on Saturday and Sunday, and Saturday evening we went out into the field to learn how to use the equipment and get set up for the particular occultation that occurred last night at 10:30 p.m. So we got out there, our IAAS group, there were four of us representing it, and we fire up everything, and we try to get the scope aligned, and the computer hooked up, and do all that. Then our battery dies on the computer. So we're sitting around grousing a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on, getting stuff reset up, playing with the telescope a little bit, not wasting time, but wasting precious moments until what we're supposed to be practicing to shoot, or to observe. So we ended up taking the laptop in and putting it on the charger for another 20 minutes or so to see if it would hold a charge. I brought it back out, got the scope realigned using the computer and everything else out. Got it on. I think we got it pretty near, but not quite. By that time, it was 11 o'clock at night. We did get it aligned to something. Played around with it just to make sure. Did not get any observations on Saturday night, and the battery died a second time. So we basically gave up after that, and we're trying to figure out, because I charged the laptop ahead of time to make sure. But this is what these dry runs are for in this particular occultation task. We had 29 groups out in the field last night, so we had 29 groups of people, and everybody at the conference that could was doing the practice runs. We did another practice run Sunday night. We were more successful Sunday night. The same thing happened. Our battery died, so there were quite a few actual systems where the computer batteries died. So we weren't the only ones, luckily. We just happened to be one of the newest groups out there doing that, and we ended up finding a power supply. So that's what we got, and we plugged that in instead. But while we were looking around for a power supply, we learned a little bit more about the go-to scope, and aligned it to our target by star hopping from point to point to point. All of you that have done that know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, we find one spot and we go to the next and we go to the next and then get closer and closer to our target. We had the target dead center. Unfortunately, we were supposed to take our readings at 10:30 at night to imitate what we were doing last night. But we didn't get it working until closer to 11. So, but we got that. We recorded a few minutes of our target star. And that was it. We were the last on the field. We actually got a little bit of data and played around with it the next day. We got a little bit of data Sunday night, but we were on target and we knew what our field, our star field, would look like for Monday night's activity. So that was at least, we knew what we could do. We had a way to make sure that we were aligned properly, set up. We got the recording and our takedown. So in the space of an hour, we got everything done. On Sunday, in preparation for the main event, which was last night at 10:30 p.m. There were 29 teams that went out around Strasbourg and kind of northwest of there, and some of them south. The track went over that general area. We had 29 lines that we were all stationed on. Each chord was 1 kilometer apart, so we were spread out across 29 kilometers. And we were site number 2, which is on the edge near Strasbourg. And this is where some of the stuff that you run into, getting permission from a property owner to go out on their property and do these types of observations. So I had to call up our buddy Jim's neighbor and get permission from him, which he's been helping us out. So I wasn't too worried about that. But we were on the far west end of the property. So we had to cross a field and in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. And a lot of these teams were doing exactly that. They were at particular crossroads or in the middle of parking lots or just out in the field somewhere taking these readings because they needed to be on these particular chords. So this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net, continuing with the observational report. We got out into the field just a little bit after sunset. The moon was up, Venus was up. It was a little cloudy. We got set up. Once we got a few stars out, we got the telescope aligned, and then we started star hopping to our particular target field. Once it got dark enough for looking at a 13th magnitude object through the telescope, we actually did very well and were actually ready to go, and we were monitoring our target star about an hour before the event. And luckily the scope aligned as it was. So those practice sessions the 2 nights before really helped I should say a virgin team at doing this, because this was our first asteroid occultation that I had ever done, and in fact all of us had done. And we were waiting there, and we waited and waited and waited for another hour, just ready to push that button and record 6 minutes of stellar time watching this particular target. It It was asteroid Jordanes, Jordaens. Was the asteroid that we watched, or at least we were looking for across this particular star. We started our recording and we watched the screen and we did not see a blink. The blink is when we see our target star wink out and we don't see it. So that's the particular occultation that we're looking for, and we get a light curve from that. However, Station 1 did not see a blink. We did not see a blink. We had reports of Station 6 and Station 8 not seeing a blink. So we got some good data on the light curve of that particular star, but no occultation at our site. So that does give us some data, not necessarily of the occultation itself, but it gives us a data to work with so we can figure out what size this object was. Not necessarily no data is good data, but data of any kind is still good, even though it did not capture the particular event that we were looking for. So that helped us determine the size of this particular object. It was actually smaller than we expected, because on the opposite side, I think numbers 29 and 28 did not have a blink either. I have to look at some of the more reports and see how close that was, but you want to cover the range of your target with a little bit more than what you expect, and then you can get that data, you can analyze it, and you can see from the data actually where you will plot all of this, all these timings, and you'll see 29 lines, and in between that maybe something that looks like a potato shape that's cut out of those lines. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the size of it, and you get a lot more information from the data just from the winking out of a particular star in the sky by one of these asteroids. So that was what I got to do. Didn't get home till midnight. That's what I got to do this weekend and practice that. There's another occultation for our team coming up at 4 a.m. on August 10th. We'll see if we can get up that early and get that one. But at least we know what we're doing now. So that was kind of fun. Definitely interesting learning experience. Met lots of people. Things like that. So it was fun times. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. It did take a little bit. If you've got any questions, I'll definitely entertain those as we go down the list about that, or any other particular astronomical questions or comments you'd like to make. So right now, well, let's see, Moy had to check out, so we'll go to John. So this is where everybody else gets to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net. Now's the time to do it. Ken, we got you on the list. NV7SS, thanks for checking in via NetLogger. Don't see anybody else over on YouTube, but I'll take check-ins a little bit later. Right now, we're kind of running, I got a long list, so if you have YouTube, you can post your questions or comments or whatever you'd like to share astronomical-wise over on YouTube. Just post it in the chat window. I'll pull that up. But right now, we're going to go down the list for everyone else to share. first on the list tonight is John W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. Thanks for doing the history report. What else you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
KI0AR, this is W2JLS returning. Hey, Bert, I won't take up much time. I know my history section took longer maybe tonight than usual, but I will say we've been suffering here in Northeast Ohio with the effects of the Canadian wildfires swooping down on us, so it's been difficult to see the night sky most evenings. Did notice kind of a half moon a couple of nights ago. It was pretty to see after all of that smoke, but yeah, I can't imagine how bad it must be up there in Canada if it's as bad as it was late last week down here in Farallon, Ohio. So to all those folks any place near there, I'm sorry for what you're going through. Anyway, I won't hold it. Thanks, Bernard, for running the net. Thanks for having me in it. And just say hello to Ed while I've got the mic as well. Passing it back. Good evening on your ears from W2JLS.
All right, John, appreciate that. Yeah, I saw on the news on one of the news channels, the Weather Channel, I think, all the fires, the places where the fires were occurring up in Canada. It looked like Canada had turned orange with the number of fires they had for their little fire symbols across Canada, from the east coast to the west, north and south almost. It looked like the whole country was on fire. So luckily last night, most of the smoke had cleared out. There was a little bit of haze, so the seeing wasn't 100%, but it was good enough. And we were surprised that all of the clouds just moved out away from every single site that was doing the occultation last night. So we were expecting clouds to roll in, but luckily they rolled out instead and went the opposite direction. So we were very pleased. The whole team was very pleased about that. John, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Rip in West Virginia, K3XO. Good evening to you, Rip. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next couple of check-ins are over on YouTube. We got Jim KD9UJK, and Mary VE3AOA, and anybody else over on YouTube. If you've got any questions or comments you'd like to pass along to the net, just type them into the chat window. Appreciate that. But thanks for checking into the net, both of you. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, hey, good evening, Bruce, and everybody on the net. And, yeah, we got smoke here, too. We don't need those stinking Canadian forest fires. We've got our own forest fires here in Oregon. Oh, man, but I don't think it's as bad as I've heard some of the folks up in the Northeast talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm upset that it might be too smoky to image, but at least I'm not concerned whether I can breathe. So, looks like we're pretty much down to processing here. I didn't get near as much data as I'd hoped, but I got some. And spending some time learning some of the new Python scripts and things. Yeah, it's amazing some of the stuff that people have come out with just in the past year or so. So anyway, working on that. Hope to, including maybe a mosaic. I got some mosaic. We'll see we'll see if I can get this tested. So anyway, got some a little bit of a learning curve, which is good. Back to you, cash up, detail.
All right, Roy, appreciate you, your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. And hopefully, yeah, the smoke, yeah, we've had some trouble breathing too. We had some fires to the west of us several weeks ago. A lot of that smoke is cleared out, but we can actually see the mountains again. But yeah, got some interesting sunsets. Um, but yeah, one other note. If you want to check out, if you have an interest in getting out into the field and doing some actual research and having that research published by NASA and whatever, you may want to check out the IOTA website, lunar-occultations.com. Check that out. /IOTA, or just search for International Occultation Timing Association. And Recon's website, oh, excuse me. Oh. Excuse me. Speaking of coughing and hacking there, apologies for that. Check out tnorecon.net for more information on that and how you can maybe get involved. We've got a lot of groups. We had a student group from University of Virginia. We had people up in Oregon, California, Oregon, Washington area. So hint, hint, Roy, there you go. You can do this from your backyard, and I know you're interested in that. But yeah, check out those sites, and like I said, Roy, you're up at 4 a.m. Who knows? You might be able to do some of that research and get published. That would be kind of neat, even though I am fully retired. It would be neat to see my name on a NASA publication, and contributing to science there for sure. I think I may have been bitten by the occultation bug, at least now that I have time for it. But Roy, again, appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Ron up in Berthoud, KF0VLO. Good evening to you, Ron. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Patrick in Tennessee, K9NOC. Good evening to you, Patrick. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, John in Australia checked in and out. VK3HJQ, always like to hear from them. I wish they could stick around sometime. But next on the list is Joe in Colorado Springs, KF0ZAP. Good evening to you, Joe. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
KF0ZAP, really don't have anything, just first time on the net, heard it last week and listened in, and then this week I decided to join in. So now that I've kind of got an idea of it, hopefully I'll be able to contribute in the future. KF0ZAP.
right, Joe. Yeah, just a reminder, you contribute just by checking in. That gives me one more tick to send off to JPL. They liked my numbers. They said I had like over the years that I've been volunteering with them since 1999, over 100,000. They've kept track of the numbers that I've sent in to them. Granted, of those 100,000 lives that I've touched, many of them are exactly the same. That's you guys, and I do thank you for your support over the years. They just look at numbers. I hear voices and call signs, and so I do definitely appreciate everybody that's checking in. I may not see you, but hopefully I hear you, or just showing up, and listening in and letting me know that you're out there. That's contribution enough for sure. So thanks for that, Joe. Again, welcome, and hopefully we'll hear you next week too. Next on the list, Mike in Oklahoma, KO5AOK over on YouTube. Thanks for checking in. Hopefully we'll see some posts from you. Next on the list is Paul in Utah, WA7GVL. Good evening to you, Paul. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Mike in Utah over on YouTube, K7VWP. Mike, appreciate you checking in tonight. If you got any comments, please post them over there. I do appreciate that. Next on the list is Ed up in Broomfield, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Burness. Good evening again to the net. On analog now, which I think probably sounds a little better than Echo Link, but that has to be what it is, given my schedule. So, thanks a bunch for hosting the net. Love the occultation saga you related. Practice is everything, isn't it? I wouldn't have gotten any eclipse pictures with you if I hadn't gone out and practiced that on the sun beforehand. And love the John history lesson on Gus Grissom. Don't have much else, but I'd like to wish everyone a one-day belated Moon Day. Moon Day is observed every July 20th to commemorate one of history's greatest achievements, the first successful crewed landing on the moon. July 20th, 1968, that's almost 60 years ago. NASA astronaut Buzz Aldrin became the first human to walk on the lunar surface during the historic Apollo 11 mission. So just wanted to recognize that milestone. That's all I have. W6RDZ, back to net control.
All right, Ed, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. And let's see, Mary, thanks for that, for the comment over there, over on YouTube. I definitely, I do that. I don't do it for the appreciation, but I'm glad that everybody does appreciate the time and the work that we put into doing the net. And I wouldn't have done it for 30 years if I didn't like it, that's for sure. All right. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Danny in Highlands Ranch, KF0WXE. Good evening to you, Danny. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Mark in Ohio, KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
All right, well, KC8FQV. Only I was going to mention, some of the stations that are checking, Echolink always had their test server. Just set your microphone, your speaker audio to what you're listening to now, and then go there and check it, set it. But also, All-Star, they have a parrot, 55553, 55553. I think you might have heard about it. But there's a parrot there, and I'll let you hear it, and it'll tell you good audio, a little high, a little low. That just helps there. But yeah, we had that smoke. It was bad. Today was about the best day. No blue, nothing blue. It was pretty well cleared. But we had some rain today. So let's send it back to net, KC8FQV.
All right, Mark, I appreciate you sharing that with us and reminding us all that we can check our audio both on Echolink and All-Star. They have those capabilities, so to appreciate that. And no worries, I just crank up the volume and hope for the best sometimes. As all of us amateur radio operators know, especially if we're working weak signals or something like that. You know somebody's in there and you can't quite make them out, and you turn your volume up full blast, and then all of a sudden you burn out your ears. It works that way sometimes, but it's always fun, always a challenge. So no worries, but appreciate you sharing that with us, Mark. Appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Mike in Lakewood. KB7ZZS. Good evening to you, Mike. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list, Jack over in Wheat Ridge, over on YouTube, KE0VH. Any comments you got over there, Jack? You can definitely post them, but definitely check out Jack's flight sim flight tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. Don't know where he's going. He might not. Well, I know he's probably practicing for tomorrow night's flight. So more of the case of practice, 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 and then hopefully everything will go right anyway. Yeah, we didn't have too much problems last night at all. We did have to ask some questions across our impromptu net over on WhatsApp and get some stuff clarified. But we got everything taken care of. So it was definitely a neat experience for 6 minutes of work and all the prep that it took to get there. But definitely interesting. Hey, Jack, appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list, Michael. I gotta put new. There we go. In Georgia, KR4CHO. Good evening to you, Michael. Again, welcome to the net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
WDH. I actually am here by the radio, so you can come back to me when.
All right, Jack, we'll get back to you in a sec. I want to touch base with Ken out in Nevada. NV7SS. Good evening to you, Ken. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay. We'll go back to Jack. KE0VH. Good evening to you, Jack. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, Bonus, just thinking to checking my radio earlier. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow night or not. I have a huge day. Got to go to Buena Vista, Colorado, and go to Mount Princeton. So I'm really not sure if I'm going to be able to get there or not for tomorrow night's live stream. However, I wanted to share with you, I had a wonderful experience this past weekend at my brother Paul's house in northwest Georgia. It was really awesome because he has a lot more dark skies than I normally get to see. And one of the things we did, it was cloudy the first 2 nights, but the third night we had enough opening that we watched satellites right after sunset. It was pretty extraordinary. He actually had some night vision goggles and binoculars as well. And we watched quite a few satellites, low Earth orbit satellites that were in the sunlight up above in orbit, but of course it was dark on the ground, and it was very extraordinary. And through those night vision goggles, I actually got to see also a couple of very prominent shooting stars, so it was pretty spectacular. I was excited to share that with you tonight. Not sure if I'm going to be on the live stream tomorrow night or not, to be determined, but thanks for the plug, and good evening to everybody around the SkyHub link and the Colorado Astronomy Net. So with that, Bruce, back to you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. I really enjoyed watching those satellites through the night vision goggles, and some of them were bright enough to see with the naked eye, too. Anyway, back to you. KI0AR, KE0VH in Wheatridge. Good evening.
All right, Jack. Yeah, I've looked through night vision goggles once or twice and pointed them up to the skies, and it's really amazing what pops out, especially with all of Elon Musk's constellations up there, and China's constellations of satellites. Just all you need to do is just point a pair of binoculars, or like you say, your night vision goggles up into the skies, and you're going to see quite a few satellites pass through your field of view. We actually had several satellites each night pass through various fields of view as well, and some meteors were seen here. Like I said, we're starting up with several meteor showers. So on any dark night, get out there, point your binoculars, your night vision scopes, your Mark I eyeball to the sky, and see what you can see. So, all right, Jack, appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. All right, we are at the bottom of the list and the top of the hour. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the net for anybody else. I know there's still some people out there that I called on that are still checked in that I haven't heard from. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins. If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Alpha India 7 Oscar Foxtrot. Alpha India 7 Oscar Foxtrot.
WENM, Whiskey Echo 8 Mike. Short time in and out.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Uniform Papa Bravo. KF0 UPB Mobile in Broomfield.
Kilo Foxtrot, 0 Whiskey, Romeo Whiskey.
Kilo Romeo 4, Kilo Lima Papa, Mark and Jones from North Carolina, in and out.
Okay, good evening to you, Jay. AI7OF, thanks for checking in tonight. David, WE8M, thanks for checking in tonight. Caleb, KF0UPB, thanks for checking in tonight. Amber, KF0WRW, thanks for checking in tonight. And Mark in North Carolina, I think that was KR4 KLP. This is one of the nets where an in and out don't get you anywhere, especially if you are a new contact on the list. I'd like to touch base with my new contacts, our new check-ins to the Colorado Astronomy Net. I know it's late there, but you've caught the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net. My name is Burness. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, and the call sign is Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. I've been doing the net for over 30 years now, but I'd like to touch base just quickly, touch base with you and find out what your interest background is in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades, or somewhere in between, or you just happen to be flipping around and you want to add your number to the list of check-ins for tonight. Mark, welcome to the net. If you could tell us just a little bit about your background interest in astronomy, go ahead, please.
Good evening, and I have been interested in astronomy. I've had a few telescopes. Actually had my own observatory for a while. Had a roll-off roof that I built. A lot of that got taken away and destroyed through a divorce. Kind of got into ham radio. I still like to sit out with my binoculars. Check out things floating around up there. Since the shuttle is no more, not really that much to watch. To sit up all hours of the night watching the shuttle go up. But mainly just wanted to have my numbers figure for tonight. I heard you talk about JPL. I was with an astronomy club, and there was a lady, her name was Nancy, I cannot think of her last name, but she and I were, we worked together quite a bit with the club in educational material for public outreach. Over.
All right, thanks for that, Mark. I do appreciate it. Appreciate you checking in and sharing that with us. For sure, yeah, that's what I'm all about is the outreach. I'm a solar system ambassador for Colorado since, gosh, 1989. So just shy of how long I've been doing the net, or no, 1999. Excuse me. I started the net in '96. And been a solar system ambassador since '99. But I've worked with my IAAS group since '89, and over the years have done volunteer work with that in the public for quite a few while I was even in college with Boy Scout troops and things like that. So. That's near and dear to my heart as well. So appreciate you being here and sharing your experience there with us as well. So definitely well, I enjoy everybody that checks in. Those that are not experienced, we get to teach, and those that are experienced, we get to learn from. So it works out fantastic all the way around. Because there's something that somebody knows that somebody else doesn't, and that includes me. I was definitely in a learning mode this past weekend, for sure. But I do appreciate that. And again, the net starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time for you guys. So I thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those of you who have stayed up late. Oh, there's one person I forgot to put on the list. I saw him check in, Graham in Scotland, MM1DEA. Graham, I do apologize for that. I saw you popped up, and I totally spaced it getting you on the list. But this is an international net. I think I've got 30 countries. I think I've worked all states. I finally got the final state a while back. I've worked all states on my net, so I need to make up a certificate for me. There you go, or something like that, or post it somewhere. Or I should say for we, not just me. This is your net too, so I do appreciate that. Okay, so I'll hop off of my soapbox here. I think we got a room for one more call. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening? Please call KI0AR now. Okay, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 26 check-ins for checking in tonight. Okay, Amber, sorry, tried to reach you by radio to check in. Well, I got you on the list, Amber. I think I did hear your call. Let's see. That's what I forgot to do. I think I went to everybody there. I do apologize. No worries. But appreciate you checking. Thank God, camera shy or radio shy. No, never be radio shy with us. That's for sure. Glad to have you on board for sure. No worries, Amber. Thanks for checking in and checking in over on YouTube. So another new tool in the toolbox that has come in quite handy. So I just started the YouTube stuff. I got like 40 or so. Wow, maybe close to a year now, but still a noob as far as YouTube is concerned. Still got to work on that, but it's just a matter of finding time at this point. Too much other stuff going on in the background there. But I appreciate everybody checking in. All right, here we go. Appreciate the 26 check-ins. Hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday night for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for use of their repeater systems. Also like to thank the Skyhub Link group for their use of their systems and all the ways that you guys can check in and participate in the net on the air. Check out skyhublink.com, skyhublink.com for more information on that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.